This is a Noble Gold Investments alert. Gold has surged 46% in less than a year, doubling the gains of NASDAQ and S&P 500. Global reserves are shifting, exposing cracks in the monetary system. Investors are losing confidence in paper gold and demanding physical metal, creating a massive gap between gold owed and gold available. And you can profit from it. Right now, Noble Gold Investments has a limited supply of investment-grade gold bars and coins available. Smart investors are already moving into physical gold. Noble Gold Investments makes it easy for you to do the same. And right now, when you make a qualified investment, Noble Gold will add a free 10th ounce gold coin to your order. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com now. noblegoldinvestments.com.
Hey, Inspire Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers. It's John Nolan here. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is Wednesday, April 30th, 2025. This is Proof of Life. We're still around. It's been a tough 10 days or so. Out of the matrix into prime reality, and we're excited to be back with you all. Thank you for joining us on X Rumble, YouTube. Thank you for all your beautiful comments. I wanted to share a little bit what's been going on, why we were off the air. Physically, it was literally physically impossible to do this. But I want to speak a little bit about upgrades and downloads that usually happen during such times. And it all started, I'm putting this together in hindsight, but it all started with a dream about 10 days ago, maybe a little longer. And in that dream, I think something was confirmed to me that I've been theorizing about, thinking about, and researching for quite some time now. And there is an incredible synchronicity because I shared this dream. I'm going to talk about this in a moment here. I shared this dream with a few other people, and they were having the exact same experience at the same time on the other side of the world, which was quite interesting. But at any rate, in my dream, it was the same. I was the same person, same age, same everything. So I was literally in the same reality as I'm right now talking to you. And in this reality, I knew that my grandma had passed on last year. And I was scrolling through my phone in that dream, wanted to call her number, not because I wanted to talk to her, but because I wanted to hear her voice on the answering machine. Because like I said, I knew she had passed away. And so I dialed a number, and she actually picks up and starts talking to me. And I wasn't really shocked. It's more like, oh, they've changed the timeline again. That was my first thought. Oh, they're changing the timeline. Something has shifted. And in that same dream, there was another instance that showed me that timelines are being shifted. And I woke up middle of the night, and for the next hour or so, I was, what it feels like when the hairs on your neck stand up, and it was like that on my entire body. And I could feel, now this is out there, but I'm going to share it with you because I think it's significant. I could feel that the past was being changed in that period where I was awake. I could feel it. I could feel that was actually what was happening. And it has been my theory, and I've talked about this on the air quite a few times. It has been my theory that I would say nefarious players are shifting, subtly changing things in the past to stifle or slow down or change the direction of the awakening, if you will, of consciousness rising and people seeing truth and stopping or slowing down that momentum. And I think they've been doing it for a long time. I think it's why we have these periods where we feel we're almost there, we're passing a threshold, and then we wake up one morning and it's like it's gone. It's like that momentum is gone. And I've experienced it so many times over the years, especially since 2012. Like so often that has happened. And I you know, I've always thought that something is shifted in the past. Sorry, we're still coughing around here. That something was shifted in the past, and in this time period of about an hour during that night, I actually got a few significant downloads, and I'm going to share them with you. And you know, this is territory where I can't say I've researched this and I've uncovered some evidence and facts. This is literally what came to me. So take it with a grain of salt. You know, what came to me was that we're dealing with entities within our realm that have had the kind of technology that can go into what we perceive to be the past and change things. And it's quite a, what I received was that it's quite a sort of a finicky thing, that you have to be very careful. If you change too little, nothing's really going to shift in the present. If you change too much, the discrepancy between memories and emotional memories and reality becomes too big, and people lose their minds and their shit. So sort of a finicky thing. But the people or the entities that are doing it from within our realm, they're sort of have to do it by hand, if you will. It's quite primitive, actually. And then I saw the second element of this, which is maybe the entities who are ultimately controlling this realm from outside. They have, for the lack of a better term, a kind of AI. Of course, that's light years ahead of what we have here now, and they can basically run scenarios and see how subtle shifts that they make in our perceived past will project into the future and what changes they can get. And so they are doing it too, and those two groups of entities aren't always up to par. They're sometimes at odds with each other. And you know, the group within this realm here is very much doing it for short-term gains, or short-term, if you will, relief from the pest that we are with our constant truth seeking and expansion. And they are just looking to slow things down. Now, the others from outside this realm, what I saw and received, it is a much more a long game, and they're, you know, they're really projecting longer into the future and trying to make these alterations. Um, I next morning, you know, that was a very intense night for me. I could feel it physically as well, and I was pretty certain that my body was going to need some integration time, and so, you know, I did get sick, as you can hear, and we were both down, actually. uh, quite It was quite intense, but I did send an email the next morning to our friends, you know, to David Icke and his partner Christiana, and I sort of explained what was going on and the download that I had received. And she I mean, she immediately shot back an email like 2 minutes later and said, "Oh my God, I can't even believe you're having this experience, and you've had this download. We're literally right now talking about the same thing. They call it astral algorithm, and it's, you know, it's the same exact principle. They just, you know, had found this term, which I think is very fitting." Um, so what I walked away with, and sort of the period of integration afterwards, was that this is something that, if we are not aware of it, it can drive us crazy and insane, because we have emotional memories, sometimes even real memories of something that potentially was sometimes erased from the past. So we still remember, at least in some ways, we remember something, but we can't find the evidence any longer because it was erased or changed in our timeline. And what I have noticed is that, having experienced this over and over again, I retain some of those memories. Um, and I retain even the visuals of, you know, maybe large groups of people gathering together, um, you know, raising the energy together. And then history shows that it didn't really happen, or it didn't happen at the time. So what I think that is happening is that the more awake you are in your journey, the higher you raise your own consciousness, the easier it is for you to retain those memories. Because this, this is a mind fuck, really, if you think about it. I mean, this is so easy to dismiss this as something that, you just, John, you're just going crazy. But we're not the only ones having this experience. And of course, you could think about the Mandela effect as maybe something like that, a similar phenomenon. Um, However, what everything that we become aware of and that we can integrate into our being and that we can sort of think about calmly and in a sort of rational way, we can learn to not just accept that these things might be happening, but more importantly, what can we do to counteract them? Because I do think that uh, the inevitability, ultimately, the inevitability of consciousness rising is clear to everyone. But these entities have been at it for a very, very long time, and they have certain advantages, especially those who are looking into this realm from outside. They have the luxury of no time, so they retain their knowledge, they retain their experience, they retain their observations over centuries and millennia, and that is a huge advantage. But I think that ultimately everyone is aware that once consciousness reaches a certain level again, nothing can really counteract that anymore. And this is sort of what's been coming through over the last days very clearly. Not easy, a lot of physical pain to go through, but that is also something that I wanted to share, which is the not just the download part but the upgrade part. And the upgrades we're receiving in different ways, right? If you think about it, on a very logical level, we are dealing with a ramp up of electromagnetic frequencies that is unheard of, at the speed of light. Literally, they're adding frequencies and bandwidths of frequencies, and they're adding technology that just beams this at us 24/7, even in rural areas. And so our bodies are, for on the one hand, we're trying to sort of shield ourselves from that, right? That's why we talk about things like FLFE, which is so powerful in mitigating the EMF. But on the other hand, we for the time being, until we can change course more drastically, we have to adjust, right? I mean, we either adjust or we die. That's the story of the human. Either we assimilate or we die of the effects. And so our bodies are literally learning at lightning speed how to deal with these EMFs and how to still maintain energy, how to still repair cells, how to keep clear thoughts, and all of these things are quite challenging. But just so you know, I know that a lot of people are getting sick more often, and have been in the last 5 years specifically. And I just never used to get sick. Since the rollout of 5G in 2020, it has become more often, and I'm sort of learning to accept that this is literally upgrades, and every single time I receive very clearly what the upgrades are about and why they're happening. So that's another thing to just keep in mind, that we have to be patient with ourselves. We are dealing with a maybe we are in the final stages of an epic, very, very old, very, very long battle. And and we are, we're doing all these things simultaneously. I think we need to give ourselves credit for everything that's being thrown at us, and we're still here, and we're still kicking, and we're still doing it, and you're still showing up. And that is a testament to the spirit, that's driving this avatar. So those were sort of the last 10 days. We're going to take it a little slower, getting back in the swing of things here. Still, still have some loopy hours where my brain's in a strange state. Still need more rest, but I really felt like I wanted to talk about this today and share this with you. What's been happening? I call it the temporal tamperings. The messing with time, and I don't think it's a new phenomenon, but I think that as we are expanding and as we are raising our consciousness, we are tapping into more ways to sense things, right? We don't just have our physical senses, we're tapping into the invisible, the non-physical part of us, and we can grasp things better. We also have better understanding of technology because of what's been going on in the last few years. And the thought now doesn't seem so strange that you could use technologies to change things in the past, change and hence change perceptions in the present. This is not going to be very acceptable to people in mainstream polite society. It's just another reason to call us crazy and nut jobs and tinfoil hats. But like I always say, I lovingly don't give a fuck what anybody thinks, and we're here to we're committed to the truth. But the truth is a 360 thing. It's not just one little perspective. And the truth is that we're so incredible, powerful beings that all this shit is being done to never let us find out, or if we do find out, distract us from it and keep us looking to sort of the dark side more. And I think we just need to be aware of that and show up for ourselves and each other every single day. And we're going to continue to do that. All right, my friends, this was it. Short and sweet for today. Thank you. It's good to see all your names in the live chat. I look forward to scrolling through it, and I missed you guys. I really did. So much love to you. Thank you for your beautiful thoughts, your energy, your love, and we'll be back very, very soon.
Your environment shapes everything, your thoughts, your health, your energy, but most people never question the invisible field they live in. We did, and that's when FLFE found us. It's not a product, it's a field of pure life force energy that lifts everything it touches. We now live in it 24/7, and we would love to invite you to experience it too. Start your free 15-day trial now. No pressure, no strings attached. Just the truth, resonance, and peace.